Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from glitches in our Matrix to close-ups of UAPs and UFOs that may just leave you shocked yet craving more. Ready? Let's jump in. We start today's episode in a theater. And it's not all what you're thinking. Well, if you're thinking something spooky happened, well, then you're right.
There's the ghost light. It's a light we keep on for ghosts, for people who still remain here and whatnot. And, what the What is that?
So the young man you see on your screen was in the theater when he started hearing strange noises. Usually this is normal in a theater, but not when it's closed and you're supposed to be alone. After enduring the sound for a bit, he decided to step out and investigate. He decided to film the investigation just in case he caught someone breaking in. He explores the theater, shows us the ghost light meant to fish out people who stay after the theater had closed. As he pans the camera, he notices something, but it's not exactly clear. He gets closer to take a better look, and then he sees it. It's some sort of puppet, and it's staring down at him. At least, that's what I thought I saw. Naturally, he freaks out and eventually uploads it onto the internet. While going through the comments of the original post, I realized some said they saw a woman, whereas others saw a kid or a teenager. You guys have seen the clip. What do you also see? But more importantly, do you think this is legit, or do you think he's trying to get his 5 minutes of fame? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. Moving on, we have this chilling image taken by a man who decided to explore an abandoned building one night. Venturing out alone, he got closer to the eerie structure when something caught his eye. It was a creature crouched on the ground in front of the building. According to the man, the creature ran off as soon as it noticed him, but not before he managed to snap this photo. I've looked at it several times and I'm not able to confidently make out what it might be. You see it on your screens too. What do you think we're dealing with? The moon has long been a source of mystery and intrigue, with countless stories and legends surrounding its enigmatic presence. But this footage, captured in Nashville earlier this year, takes things to another level. In April, a woman was called outside by her friend to take a look at the moon. Sure, it's beautiful at night, but on this day there was something strange happening with it. A friend who had already noticed there was something unusual rushed out with a camera in hand ready to film. She started recording, zoomed in, and within seconds, something shocking happened. Lightning struck, not on the earth, but onto the moon itself. As they watched in disbelief, you can hear the astonished reactions in the background. According to the woman, her friend mentioned that the moon had been changing colors just before the lightning struck, adding another layer of oddness to the whole event. What could this mean? Was it just a bizarre atmospheric phenomenon, or something more? When lightning striking the moon is unheard of, the fact that the moon seemed to change colors beforehand is even more puzzling. What do you think could have caused this? While you figure that out, you might want to take a look at this ginormous beauty of a specimen.
Oh my god. Oh gee. Oh, a big kangaroo in front of me. I'm scared.
I'm not a zoologist, but that's definitely not normal. The individual who uploaded the clip stated that it was definitely reaching up to 9 feet in height. While that's impressive, I was definitely distracted by those strong-looking muscles. After admiring it for a few seconds and feeling sorry for myself— wait, scratch that, you didn't hear that. Back to my research. I discovered that kangaroo sizes vary by species. The largest, the red kangaroo, can reach up to 6 feet in height with a tail length of about 3.3 feet, and males weigh between 121 to 198 pounds, while females are smaller at around 3.6 feet and 40 to 88 pounds. Eastern gray kangaroos grow up to 5 to 6 feet tall for males, weighing 110 to 145 pounds, while females are typically 4 to 4.6 feet tall and weigh 37 to 88 pounds. Western gray kangaroos are slightly smaller, with males reaching 4.3 to 5.3 feet and weighing 62 to 119 pounds, while females weigh 35 to 82 pounds. While that's a lot of kangaroo information, you can clearly tell that this big guy doesn't fit any of the dimensions stated here. So what do you think we're dealing with?
Oh my god. Oh gee. Oh, a big kangaroo in front of me. I'm scared.
No, I don't like you people to use chemicals. We use natural food,
Yeah.
which heals. Can I tell you?
Yeah,
This is produced by chemicals.
it is. It's very true.
You are putting chemicals in your body. When you say it, you don't care what will happen. You are saying, I'm wearing a good shirt.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That you are practicing witchcraft on your body yourself with your mind. So people don't think about that.
We mostly worry about what we put into our bodies, questioning the safety of the food we eat and the chemicals used in its production. But how often do we stop to consider the clothes we wear? This man visited a remote village in Africa and interviewed one of the elders. The man wore clothing made from gazelle skin. As he talked, the elder shared a thought-provoking perspective. He stated that our clothes today are often manufactured using synthetic fibers and treated with a cocktail of chemicals, from dyes to preservatives. These chemicals, in turn, come into direct contact with our skin daily. When you think about it, you realize that just as we worry about the toxins we consume through food, it's worth considering what we absorb through our skin when we wear chemically treated fabrics. But do tell me, do you think our clothing is harming us in ways we haven't even considered? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
This is produced by chemicals.
It is. It's very true.
You are putting chemicals in your body. When you say it, you don't care what will happen. You are saying, I'm wearing a good shirt.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That you are practicing witchcraft on your body yourself with your mind. So people don't think about that.
Stepping away from earthly things, take a look at these clouds.
Look, bro, this look like a woman, bro. Look, this look like a whole picture. Bro, come here, look at my phone.
What do you see? Tell me you see them too. The clouds somehow look like a picture involving multiple individuals. I'm pretty sure that's not normal. The individual recording is even shocked himself, and I can't blame him. Once he uploaded the clip, all sorts of theories came from different angles and directions, with some stating it had to be the government's blue beam technology. Others felt it was a sign from God, whereas a small sect believe it was a sign we're living in the Matrix. A very small group held on to Julius's beliefs. The whole thing was fake, and it was meant to deceive the masses. Now we can say with certainty which of these it is, but if it was indeed an attempt to mislead the masses, then certainly whoever planned it has succeeded, because more than 60 to 70% of the paranormal community believe this is real. What about you?
Look, bro, this look like a woman, bro. Look, this look like a whole picture. Bro, come here, look at my phone.
A hiker was out exploring the mountains when he stumbled upon something extraordinary. As he climbed higher into the highlands, he noticed a large creature perched on a massive rock. The creature had thick white fur and was sitting upright, almost human-like in posture. From its size and proportions, this was no ordinary animal. Its massive frame and humanoid shape resembled a Bigfoot. The sighting has stirred up quite a bit of speculation. Could this be an extremely rare version of the elusive Bigfoot, an albino variant? Many people have shared their theories, but no one has come up with a definitive explanation. What do you think?
Look at that. 9/27/24.
Still on Bizarre Captures, we travel back in time to the 27th of September of this year when a man captured a video of something truly unusual in the sky. In the clip, you can see a bright circular pattern glowing in the sky. According to the man who filmed it, the strange otherworldly sight resembled some kind of portal. Many in the community shared this perspective and started to debate what could have come or gone through it. While everyone shared their thoughts with excitement, Julius showed up claiming that what we were seeing was nothing more than a sundog. If this is your first time hearing the term, as it was mine when he mentioned it, it's a common atmospheric phenomenon caused by sunlight interacting with ice crystals in the atmosphere. Sundogs typically create bright spots or halos near the sun, which could explain the shape. While this sounds logical and scientific, you must still agree with me that the whole thing just looks otherworldly. Could there be more to this than science has discovered?
Look at that. 9/27/24.
I always say this: hospitals are one of the biggest hotspots for ghost activity.
So you show it. How do you tell a ghost to show it? Look at the heart rate. Make your heart rate speed up if you're a ghost. Make your heart rate speed up if you're a ghost.
In this video, a group of nurses entered a room and were shocked by what they found. The heart monitor was on, actively reading someone's vitals, but this is the strange part. The room was completely empty and the machine wasn't even plugged in. This left the nurses convinced that they might be dealing with a ghost. On one of them, curious if the spirit was trying to communicate, asked if it could increase the heart rate. To their surprise, the monitor showed exactly that. The heart rate sped up. The nurses were all in shock, unable to believe what they were witnessing. I mean, you're definitely seeing everything I'm saying on your screen right now. The big question now is this real? Is this genuine? The paranormal community is divided. Where do you stand?
Rate speed up if you're a ghost.
Matrix glitches are some of the most bizarre and mind-bending phenomena that people report all over the world, and this next clip is no exception. A man parked his car in a lot, went about his business, and returned to find something completely unreal. There, lodged into his car, was a tree, but not in an ordinary way. This tree appeared to have grown through the front passenger seat from the ground up through the car's interior. What's even stranger is that you can see the full reflection of the tree's top in the car's windshield, as though it had been there for years. But the man had only parked there a few hours ago. How could a tree have grown into the car in such a short time? It seems that the only explanation for this was a Matrix glitch. Or do you have another explanation? While you try to decode that, you might want to take a good look at this one. A man was exploring the great outdoors when he came across what's on your screen. Not sure what he was looking at, he was stunned and stopped in his tracks. As he tried to make out what it was, it suddenly yanked or suddenly moved one direction and disappeared out of view. If he didn't plan this, and it's no hoax, then he was definitely going to be startled. Well, he swears it's real, so let's go with that. He uploaded it on the paranormal platform seeking answers, but all he got is a lot of doubt and questions. Do you think it's real? If it is, what are we dealing with here? If it's not, how do you think they pulled it off? Next, we've got this footage that was shared by a man claiming he'd captured a Bigfoot in the woods and brought it home. In the video, you can see the creature bound by its hands and legs lying motionless. At first glance, it appears lifeless, and you'd think it was dead. But then, unexpectedly, the creature opens its eyes. It's a startling moment, and it looks directly into the camera. He was showing this off as his trophy, and just like the previous clip, not many are buying it. So what do you think? Is this genuine evidence of a Bigfoot, or could it be something else entirely? This image was taken by a trail camera, and it's certainly unsettling. In the shot, there's a creature sitting on the forest floor, its head bent down as if in a moment of stillness or concentration. The figure is large with broad shoulders and a hunched posture, making it look quite imposing. The person who captured the image insists that this is Bigfoot, and when you look at it closely, it does seem to match the description of these elusive creatures. Tall, bulky, covered in hair, with a posture that isn't quite human. Skeptics argue that this is a misidentification, perhaps a person in thick clothing or an animal caught at a strange angle. But the size and shape make it harder to dismiss. Could this really be the legendary Bigfoot, or just another case of mistaken identity? Speaking of things I need your help explaining, take a look at this. I'm pretty sure I may have shared this in the past, but it's starting to go around again in the paranormal community. The individual recording was allegedly waiting for his DoorDash when he noticed this being outside his window. After a while, he heard knocks and went to check if the DoorDash had arrived, but it hadn't. Instead, it was this being or thing or entity watching him from a distance. Naturally, he was spooked, which led him to record his experience. Do you think this is real, though? If you do, what do you think that is? Skinwalkers are known to be one of the trickiest and most elusive creatures in lore. They can shape-shift into any form, whether it be an animal or a person. But they have one flaw. Though they can mimic shapes, they never truly get the transformation perfect. These small imperfections are often subtle and hard to notice, unless you're really paying attention. In this case, a woman was out shopping when she encountered something strange. She spotted this dog sitting in a stroller while its owner casually browsed the store. But the dog was staring directly into the camera, unblinking, with wide eyes that seemed unnatural. Now, it's not every day that you hear about a skinwalker being caught on camera, let alone in the form of a pet. But look at those eyes. There's definitely something off. Could this really be a skinwalker in the guise of a dog? A couple went hiking up Klingman Dome while making their way along a woodland path when they noticed something unsettling. It was a creature standing in the trees watching them. Despite feeling uneasy, they decided to keep moving. But the creature did not stay hidden. It seemed to follow them from a distance, silently trailing them through the woods. And then finally it stepped out from behind the trees, revealing itself fully. That's when the couple snapped this photo. What they captured was astonishing. It was an 8-foot-tall figure that looked unmistakably like Bigfoot. They were in complete shock, frozen in disbelief by the sight of the massive creature. They later shared this to the paranormal platforms they were a part of, stating they might have encountered Bigfoot. What do you guys think? Next, we've got this footage from a home security camera set up in the kitchen. In the clip, a woman is busy doing something when out of nowhere, the lower compartment of the fridge starts to open and close on its own. The woman, visibly startled, turns around to face the fridge and her reaction is priceless. You can tell she's completely freaked out. She doesn't waste any time either. She fast walks right out of the kitchen, clearly not wanting to stick around to see what might happen next. Here's where it gets even weirder. After she leaves, the fridge continues its bizarre behavior, opening and closing all on its own, as if controlled by an invisible force. Most people believe this is ghost activity, but what do you think?
See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. All these machines right here, there's no people. Hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers. Keep fighting.
It's undeniable that technology has greatly enhanced our workforce, making tasks faster, more efficient, and often safer. But let's not forget the other side of this coin. Technology is also replacing jobs, leaving many workers out of work. Take a look at this footage, captured by one of the workers at a port. In the video, you'll notice something striking. There are no humans in sight. Instead, it's just machines fully automated, taking on the tasks that were once done by men and women. This is exactly why port strikes are happening. Workers are being replaced and their livelihoods are at stake. But what happens when the few human roles left at these ports are taken over by machines? Where do those thousands of workers go? What becomes of the people who were sent home as technology continues to advance and take over? This is the harsh reality we are facing, and it's a question worth asking as we move forward into a more automated world.
See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. All these machines right here, there's no people. Hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers. Keep fighting.
Possession. Most people see it as people getting taken over by some sort of entity or spirit. But is that really the case? Well, let's take a look at this footage. In the clip, a young man is seen writhing in a dirty gutter, his body thrashing wildly. No one knows what led to this moment or why he suddenly lost control. One minute he was fine, and the next he was flailing uncontrollably, eventually ending up in the gutter. The behavior is erratic and his movements seem unnatural, fueling the belief that this could be a case of demonic possession or spiritual influence. But skeptics say it could have been a medical condition or even a psychological break that caused his actions. What are your thoughts?
And I see these. He's like throwing an angel baby on the floor or through the roof. It's like little, but it has horns on top.
A woman was walking by a building in Fresno when she noticed something strange. On this building, there were some rather odd-looking statues. The statues were strange and unsettling. One of them appeared to be a winged creature, almost like a gargoyle, tossing a baby angel. There were other equally eerie statues, along with some unusual paintings covering the building's exterior. What could this all mean? Some are speculating that it could be linked to a cult or some kind of hidden symbolism. What do you make of this?
And I see these. He's like throwing an angel baby on the floor or through the roof. It's like little, but it has horns on top.
Last time I checked, chemicals and processed food items aren't supposed to move on their own. So how is this even possible? To provide context, a woman brought an Oreo and was enjoying it like any other snack. It was all good until she opened one cookie and dropped it almost immediately. It might have looked weird, but she had a good reason. As you can see in the footage, the cream inside the Oreo was wiggling on the counter even after she dropped it. How is this possible? Oreo cream isn't supposed to move like that, right? Is there something about these cookies we don't know? Share your thoughts.
I'm pulling the chicken off in chunks. I'm just pulling it off in chunks. I can rip this chicken open. Like, that's disgusting.
The individuals noticed that the chicken breast they bought looked rather odd, and as they were washing the meat, it just started to fall apart so easily. Just look at that. When you take a closer look inside the chicken, it almost appears to be made of thick, fibrous strands. This doesn't look like normal chicken at all. What could possibly be going on here? With so many concerns about food quality nowadays, everyone seems concerned. What's your take on it?
I'm pulling the chicken off in chunks. I'm just pulling it off in chunks. I can rip this chicken open. Like, that's disgusting.
A hunter was out in the woods tracking deer when he suddenly saw something strange walking just meters away from him. Completely stunned by the sight, he quickly gathered his composure and managed to take this picture. The creature, estimated to be 8 feet tall or even more, casually strolled by. Take a good look. Most people are convinced it's Bigfoot. Naturally, with all the recent Bigfoot clips, everyone's wondering if this is the real deal. A man was filming one night when suddenly something extraordinary happened. Out of nowhere, a huge ball of light blasted across the sky, trailing colorful streaks behind it. The light illuminated the entire area for a brief moment before vanishing just as quickly as it appeared. Along with this spectacle, there was a loud, thunderous boom which echoed across the landscape. If you listen closely to the footage, you can hear the rain falling steadily in the background. But what exactly was that? Some people are speculating it could have been a comet or something along the lines of a fireball entering the atmosphere. You've seen the clip. What do you think it is? A man visited Clingman Dome taking several beautiful photos of the sunset. But after returning home and reviewing the images, he noticed something strange. In the top right corner of the sky, there was an odd-looking object. This object didn't resemble any known aircraft, and its triangular shape stood out against the evening sky. While it's difficult to say exactly what it is just from the photo, the owner believes that they captured a UFO. What do you think? Could this be proof of something extraterrestrial or something else?
Conyers, and they just sent out a alert for us to shelter in place and close all your windows because this is a chemical fire. So look at those clouds.
This video was taken by a woman driving through Conyers, Georgia, where thick, ominous fumes were billowing into the air from a nearby biolab. The lab had caught fire, and the fumes being released were toxic. Emergency alerts were sent out on September the 29th, urging residents to close their windows and stay indoors to avoid exposure. Just take a look at the density of the smoke. It looks like something out of a disaster film. But this is very real. The fact that it's coming from a biolab raises even more concern. What kind of materials were inside, and how dangerous are these fumes? It's hard not to wonder how this happened and what kind of long-term effects might it have on the environment and the health of the community. Anyone who knows more about this should let us know in the comments section.
Conyers, and they just sent out a alert for us to shelter in place and close all your windows because this is a chemical fire. So look at those clouds. Come on, boy. Come on.
We've been hearing a lot of news lately about scientists working on bringing extinct creatures back to life, like the woolly mammoth, which may soon be walking the earth again. And while that's, controversial, this next clip I stumbled upon is something truly wild. In this clip, someone is seen feeding a dinosaur. Yes, you heard that right. A triceratops. Now, these creatures are supposed to have been extinct for millions of years, so what is one doing in this footage? Some skeptics are quick to call it a fake, saying it's CGI or some kind of hoax, and sure, that's entirely possible. But if this is real, could it mean scientists have already found a way to bring certain extinct animals back without the public even knowing about it? What do you think? Could this be the real deal or just another internet trick? On second thought, if this was some top secret project, it wouldn't be on the internet, right?
Come on, boy. Come on.
Here we have another strange case that some are calling a Matrix glitch. A woman was parked in a lot when she noticed something really bizarre. There were 3 identical cars parked near her. One was in front, and the other 2 were on either side. The cars were the same make, model, and even the same color. Now here's the really strange part. Although it's not visible in the footage, the woman claimed that all 3 cars had the same license plate number. That's just too weird to be a coincidence. What do you think is going on here? A glitch in the Matrix or something else entirely? What you're looking at here is a 30-million-year-old praying mantis perfectly preserved in a piece of amber. This incredible fossil was discovered in the Dominican Republic and has been remarkably well preserved over all those millions of years, allowing us a rare glimpse into a distant past. The amber has essentially frozen this ancient mantis in time, capturing it in such stunning detail. You can still see its delicate body, limbs, and even some of its fine features. It's fascinating to think that this creature lived long before humans ever walked the earth and is now immortalized in amber for us to study and admire. Nature has its own way of preserving its history, and this is just one breathtaking example. In this clip, an anonymous man shared a very curious sighting online. He managed to capture something strange in the sky. It was an object with a bizarre shape. According to him, the object was roughly the size of a car, but he couldn't quite figure out what it was. The footage shows this unidentified object hovering in the sky, almost as if he doesn't belong there. And people are buzzing about it, with many speculating that it could be a UFO. What say you?
Guys, look at all these Cybertrucks and Teslas.
No one's driving that?
Nobody in that?
No one is in that car.
Nobody walked over here. Wait. There's nobody in these. What the heck? That car just sped off. There's no one in it.
How'd you feel about Tesla cars and Cybertrucks? They're quite innovative with their self-driving features, but to be honest, they kind of freak me out sometimes. Take this for example. A group of people were driving by an alleged abandoned parking lot when they came across something eerie. The entire lot was filled with Teslas and Cybertrucks, and here's the strange part. They were all moving, but no one was inside them. These cars were just rolling around on their own, gliding through the lot as if something was controlling them. What's even more unsettling is that it looked like the cars had been left there, abandoned. Why would an entire lot be full of self-driving vehicles like this, and what could be causing them to move around? Julius has a theory it's a testing site for these vehicles. That sounds logical, but what say you guys?
Guys, look at all these Cybertrucks and Teslas.
No one's driving that?
Nobody in that?
No one is in that car.
Nobody walked over here. Wait. There's nobody in these. What the heck? That car just sped off. There's no one in it.
A lot of people overlook just how incredible and powerful water can be. I mean, I'm talking about the natural wonders like rivers, oceans, lakes, you name it. Take a look at this beautiful yet terrifying sight. It was captured at a beach where a man spotted something incredible happening out in the ocean. It's a tunnel of water stretching from the sea all the way up into the sky. At the top, there's this ring of clouds that looks almost like a donut, and right in the center of it is where the column of water is coming down from, connecting right back into the ocean. It's mesmerizing, but also a reminder that nature can be terrifying, especially water. It's as if the ocean itself is reaching up to the heavens, and the sheer force of that spout just shows how powerful and unpredictable water can be. Water might seem calm on the surface sometimes, but can equally be terrifying. What do you think of this phenomenon, and have you seen one before? Wow, and yes, that's a man lying next to a massive bone. Before you scream giant, it's rumored to be the thigh bone of a titanosaur. This gigantic bone was discovered back in 2013 by a farmer in Argentina. He noticed part of it was sticking out of the ground, and that's when the experts were called in to dig it out. What they unearthed was an 8-foot-tall bone. It's nearly the same height as the man lying beside it, which really puts in a perspective just how colossal these creatures once were. Titanosaurs are believed to have been some of the largest dinosaurs to ever walk the earth, and this bone alone speaks to their sheer size. It's mind-blowing to think that something this enormous was roaming our planet millions of years ago. Mesmerizing, right?
This is crazy. So this is April, 14th?
Take a look at this footage from 2023, shared by a resident in Oklahoma. It starts with this strange object hovering in the sky above his house. At first glance, you might think it's something falling from space, but there is no fire, just a bright, tiny orb surrounded by a cloud of white smoke, leaving a smoky trail behind it. As you watch, the smoke begins to spread and slowly dissipates, leaving the shiny orb still floating in the sky. It just hovers there for a while, but then something even stranger happens. The orb starts emitting more of that white smoke, almost as if it's pulsing out of the object. And during this entire eerie spectacle, you can hear the sound of sirens going off in the background, adding to the tension. What could possibly be going on here? A meteor, space debris, or could it be something more mysterious, maybe even otherworldly?
Yo, this is crazy. So this is April, 14th?
Been very controversial with the Classic Captures team and the paranormal community at large. Before I say any more, watch the footage. You see it, don't you? It looks like a creature noticed the trail cam and took a look at the camera to see if it was working or rolling. It's hard to see the face of the creature or animal, but from what we can tell, it's hairy and has a well-defined nose. It's almost as though it was trying not to be captured by the camera and wasn't sure if it had captured its face. Whatever the case, the creature suddenly attacks the camera and tears it down. It leaves after a few seconds, presumably thinking it had destroyed the camera. Now, here's the kicker. Some of my team believe it's a bear, and I don't blame them. It could be, after all. But many of us and a majority of the paranormal community that saw the video believe it's rather a Bigfoot. The community believes that the creature in the capture is Bigfoot that had thought it had been captured by the trail camera while exploring the woods and wanted to destroy all evidence of its existence. I know bears are curious and can be destructive, but I'm leaning toward the Bigfoot theory. It makes the most sense to me. What about you? Our next footage features two teenagers embarking on a nighttime adventure into the woods. During their journey, they stumble upon a white eye mask, an unusual find they couldn't resist picking up. Unfazed, they journeyed deeper into the forest, only to stumble upon another mask. This time, it was a full-face white mask suspended from a tree branch. Now, if it were me, I might have questioned the wisdom of continuing that midnight expedition, but not these brave souls. They pressed on, delving further into the woods. Suddenly, as if conjured from thin air, another mask materializes from the underbrush, sending icy shivers down their spines and forcing them to flee. But this mask was different. It bore an eerie resemblance to someone wearing it, yet the all-encompassing darkness made confirming their sight an elusive challenge. Let's ponder the possibilities now, shall we? Could this be the work of a mischievous forest spirit playing tricks on unsuspecting wanderers? Or maybe it's the lingering spirit of a victim from a long-forgotten woods ritual stirred by the eerie glow of the moon? It's a puzzle, but within the paranormal community, a sense of mystery and unease has taken root, suggesting something odd and unsettling might be at play in those woods. However, we find it a bit hard to swallow. While we're all about the paranormal and eerie, this video does seem a tad fabricated, yet there's always room for doubt, isn't there? What do you think is going on here, though? Explorers often willingly take unnecessary risks in pursuit of capturing diverse footage, even though animals don't have cameras like us. I'm convinced they share our curiosity. They encounter things in the woods, whether it's during the day or night. An example is found in this intriguing video clip recorded deep within the woods under the cloak of night by a trusty Trailcam. And here it is right before us, a magnificent grizzly bear circling the very tree that holds our Trailcam. Just as you assume the bear is engrossed in its affairs, maybe hunting for a midnight treat, it surprises us all. With a sudden leap, it pounces on the camera, swiftly sending it crashing down and giving it quite the rough ride. Seems like the culprit was none other than the camera's alluring red light, a temptation that proved irresistible to the bear. Bears boast intellect and curiosity. They're skilled at exploring scents, sounds, and, believe it or not, objects too, to evaluate their potential for play or even consumption. In this instance, it seems the camera didn't capture its attention for the playful encounter. Instead, it perceived the camera as a threat and lunged at it, a display of how unpredictable these animals can be. Like we always say here, make sure you keep a safe distance when you meet these majestic beasts, no matter how tempting it is to walk up for them for a hug. Next, we have another set of spectral images sent in by some subscribers after our last video. Comparing this new image to the one we've captured previously, you can see the difference, can't you? The first one seems to have machines in the capture, while the second one, much akin to our earlier captures, seems to have a deer. Going by the first image alone, I'm tempted to think that we may have an alien situation on our hands, and that what we're seeing is nothing more than a glitch between their technology and our trail cameras. Perhaps they're using some cloaking device that the trail cameras are somehow picking up through some sort of interference. What if the spectral images we are seeing, including those involving animals, are nothing more than them cloaking our animals and taking them off the planet? I know it's wild, but it's not impossible. But if that's too much of a stretch for you, our camera experts believe that this could be nothing more than damaged trail cameras causing glitches in between the frames of the images they're capturing. Some also think that we may be looking at damaged SD cards affecting the integrity of the captured images. But if that's the case, why are we seeing these images from all over the globe? It should be an isolated incident, shouldn't it? But what do I know? I know that deer looked possessed, but what do you say about this trail cam capture? Yes, that's a small girl standing in the middle of the woods staring at the trail camera like something from a horror movie. The image was supposedly taken in a village in India where festivals are held for the possessed. Apparently, there's a priest that helps individuals get rid of their evil spirits. The little girl you see was apparently one of them, and she escaped to the woods only to be captured by the trail camera. Listening to the story, it initially sounded interesting, but it became less interesting with each word and sentence. First of all, we don't think that looks like India, but we could be wrong. Secondly, we just can't shake off the feeling that we might actually be dealing with an elaborate hoax. Call it a hunch of sorts, but that could just be us being overly critical about a picture involving a possessed little girl. Perhaps that's the spirit manipulating us so it can stay hidden. But what do you think? Is this a real picture or a possessed girl? Or is it someone simply messing with those of us who believe in the paranormal? Share your thoughts with us. In the heart of a lush and tranquil forest, an intrepid explorer embarks on a journey to document the wonders of nature. As they delve deeper into the woods, the camera captures the beauty of sun-dappled foliage and the symphony of birdsong that fills the air. Unbeknownst to the explorer, an extraordinary encounter awaits them on this ordinary day. They approach a towering tree, its gnarled roots seemingly rooted in centuries of secrets. As the camera pans towards it, a sudden rustle of leaves and twigs draws their attention to the tree's shadowy side. From behind the ancient tree emerges an enigmatic figure bathed in the muted hues of the forest. Standing at approximately 7 feet in height, the creature's form possesses an eerie skeletal quality reminiscent of a macabre marionette. Its face, more simian than human, lacks the softness of flesh, appearing as if it was stripped down to its skeletal foundation. The figure extends a bony, elongated arm toward the camera, its fingers reaching out tentatively as if guided by a distant memory. The gesture hints at past encounters with other explorers, leaving an unspoken question in the air. What creature is this? What secrets lie hidden within these woods? Why is it trying to stop the filming? Why isn't it trying to hurt them? So many questions. I don't want to believe this is a hoax. I want to believe there's a cool cryptid out there who isn't interested in hurting or running from us. Our next video, which was uploaded on the channel Seused, certainly presents an intriguing and mysterious object found in a basement. The footage shows a strange black object that appears to be shaking. If you come from where I come from, you'd know that shaking black orbs, like looking at things from the basement, are definitely things you should avoid. But looks like this YouTuber didn't get the memo. Once he uploaded the footage, however, various speculations were offered by viewers, suggesting it could be an egg or even a cocoon. However, without more context or information, it's challenging to definitely identify the object and determine its origin. Do you have any theories or thoughts on what this object might be? Personally, my theories may be too frightening or out of this world to share, but I'd love to hear yours. What do you think this is? Please tell me in the comments section. We have this rather funny video. Have a look. In the footage, a pride is resting while some explorers look on from the safety of their car. One of the lionesses gets curious, but that's good for the explorers as it gave them the opportunity to look at the creature up close. That was at least until the lioness opened the door. It's at this moment they realized that there was more to life than taking videos and selfies. They quickly pull the back door, lock, and drive away. Frankly speaking, that was a close call and they got really lucky. Imagine they couldn't close it on time and the creature actually got to them. In fact, stop imagining, it's too disturbing. We're just glad they made it out safe. If you, the subscriber of this channel, have proven anything, it's the fact that you have an eye for detail and that you are capable of noticing even the smallest of details. Your knowledge of animal species has proven to be better than even mine, so I have this bonus footage for you. What do you see? Is it a fisher, an otter, or a mink? Or could it be another species altogether? You tell me. Put your answer in the comments section and start your comment with bonus footage so we can easily identify it. Do well to add 2 rare facts about the species, and the fastest individual with the rarest of facts receives a shout out and a feature in our next video. You could become the 4th person to ever be featured on the channel, and it's an honor you shouldn't let pass you by. All the best. In the era of Trailcam captures, it's customary to expect glimpses of wildlife and the occasional mysterious phenomena. However, there is some footage that transcends the ordinary and ventures into the territory of sheer perplexity. The footage we're about to delve into was a prime example of such an enigma. The scene is familiar. Lush greenery and dense vegetation fill the frame. However, it's the moment within this serene wilderness that captures our attention. From the midst of the trees emerges an unexpected sight, a human figure. But this isn't your typical encounter. The individual in question appears to be a naked man crawling painstakingly across the ground. Naturally, this prompts a series of questions. What could have prompted such behavior? Is there a story behind this bizarre sighting? Unfortunately, the trail camera's owner, like us, was left pondering these mysteries. The fate and motive of this crawling figure remains elusive, leaving us with another chapter in the book of unexplained phenomena. Still on mysterious beings from the forest, take a look at this next trail cam capture. In this image, we see what appears to be a creature with dark fur lurking behind the tree. The subsequent image shows the same entity, apparently having moved forward, revealing more of its features. Now we can clearly make out a head and a pair of arms, one in front and one behind, as if it's mid-stride, resembling human arm movement during walking. However, it's the third image that truly stands out, showcasing what many who have seen the images believe to be Bigfoot in its full glory. So what do you think? Is this the real deal or not? Tell us in the comment section. Next, we go all the way to Seattle, where this footage was supposedly taken. Have a look. The capture starts off looking natural, but we soon spot the black spot behind the trees in the snow-covered area. The uploader of this capture noticed it too and quickly went back to the area to investigate, as he was a Bigfoot enthusiast and suspected that he'd actually captured one. His curiosity and hunch paid off, as they spotted the creature within the area when they returned. But seeing them from afar, the creature did its best to escape. The second footage you are seeing is what they captured during their second visit and investigation. The footage is quite blurry, making it difficult for us to verify its authenticity. But have you seen it too? What do you think? Is it real or is it merely edited footage? Tell us your thoughts in the comments section. We'd actually love to know. Can animals sense otherworldly creatures? Well, here's a Trailcam footage that answers this question. In the footage, we see a deer standing by a tree going about its business when it suddenly stops and looks to the right. It's almost as if it felt something move in that area or direction. If you pay attention to the footage just around that time, you can see it. Something transparent moves in that area. There's a ghostly creature there. However, we can't really see it, so we can't tell what it is. It's not fully materialized in our plane, but it's so slightly visible that we can see it when it moves. As much as we'd want to find out what otherworldly creature we're dealing with, we can't help but feel this footage is an answer to the mystery of animals being able to sense otherworldly creatures. It could be just us, but what do you think? This image was captured on a Trailcam. This enigmatic being sports a multitude of legs reminiscent of a spider's delicate dance. The upper half, rich brown, contrasts dramatically with the lower half, which is a striking shade of blue. It's like the universe decided to throw together a cosmic mashup of creature features, combining octopus elegance with spider-like intrigue. And the plot thickens. It's not just the color palette that's raising eyebrows, it's the sheer otherworldly nature of it all. Now, before we start packing our bags for the first contact meeting with our new alien neighbors, let's take a deep breath and step back into the realm of the plausible. As much as we want to believe in extraterrestrial creatures or a land-loving octo-spider, we might be dealing with something a bit more down-to-earth. Some in the paranormal community considered the possibility of a new species, yet undiscovered by science, slipping through the cracks of our understanding. Nature, after all, is full of surprises, but we don't think that this is one. We actually think this might be a CGI or AI creation. But that's just us. What do you think? I know I've already used the word today, but this next footage is the actual definition of the word. Just have a look. What we have here is an utterly bizarre sight, a peculiar object dangling from a forest branch. It resembles a skin-like pouch of sorts. As though the sight of that thing was odd enough, a head peers out of it. While we may be tempted to unravel the riddles of the natural world, one thing's for certain. This peculiar creature doesn't quite fit the mold of a domestic companion. In fact, it doesn't fit that of a wild animal at all. I know you, our audience, have a keen eye for detail when it comes to animals, and I believe that you could perhaps help decode what's happening here. Looking at the image again, a part of me doesn't feel that the creature in person is alive. I mean, look at those eyes. They don't blink, nor do they look like they have life in them. Perhaps it's just my ignorance and skepticism at play. So I look to you, sirs and Moss. What do you think we are dealing with here? Please enlighten us. We'd really like to know. What would you do when a wild animal shows up on your property? Well, you take a picture, especially if it's up close, and that's exactly what the one who sent these pictures in did. Have a look. If you're a long-term subscriber of this channel, then you know I've been chastised often when it comes to identifying members of the cervid family, and by that I mean elks, moose, and deer. When it comes to these pictures, I believe I know which one is in it. It's definitely an elk, and a majestic one at that. Although the pictures are not the sharpest and look amateurish, you can't deny that's a good-looking specimen. And if I'm correct with the identification of the animal, I think I deserve some accolades from you guys. Well, but if I'm wrong, however, please do have mercy. We all know that cats are quite fearless, especially tiny house cats, and we also know that they consider their owners their servants. But we didn't think this behavior of domestic cats occurs in the wild as well. I mean, take a look at this footage. Yes, that's a feline on the shoulder of a rhino. My initial thoughts were the cat believes it owns the rhino and it must bend to its will, but turns out that's not the situation at all. In fact, that's not a domestic cat, it's a genet. According to our experts, the genet was most likely using the rhino as an elevation to hunt smaller creatures within the area. I know cats are smart, but that's smart on a whole new level. Have you ever seen a genet before, or did you know there was even such a creature before this clip? Tell us in the comments section. An unusual bit of footage. The footage immediately brings to mind Zootopia. Let's watch. A humanoid white rabbit is captured standing directly in front of the camera, donning a white top. Although Zootopia is a work of animation and far from reality, this trail camera image nudges the thought that humanoid animals might be concealed in the shadows. As enchanting as it is to imagine a world where rabbits stroll around in stylish attire, we're dealing with a simple truth here. This isn't a fantastical humanoid creature. No magic here, just some good old-fashioned costume fun. It's all in the name of imagination. A clever someone decided to don a rabbit costume and give us all a chuckle. We're sure the costume's individual noticed the trail camera and wanted to mess around with its owner. But you and I are much more intelligent than that. We know there's nothing magical or paranormal happening here as much as we'd love that. What would you have done if you were the owner? This unsuspecting moose was peacefully going about its business at night when a pair of luminous eyes suddenly manifested behind it. The eyes emit an eerie glow from the trees situated behind the moose. The trail camera's owner, who captured this footage, was genuinely intrigued and utterly baffled by the sudden appearance of those eyes. Considering their significant size, it's rather uncommon for any animal to stalk a moose. The primary predators of moose, such as wolves and grizzly bears, typically target moose calves due to the substantial effort required to bring down an adult moose. This further deepens the mystery and leaves us with a myriad of unanswered questions. Who do those eyes belong to? Could we be dealing with bears or perhaps wolves? While these explanations might seem logical, the paranormal community begs to differ. In fact, many in the community are swaying toward the intriguing possibility of the creature being a Bigfoot. What are your thoughts, though? Next, we have this footage, which is a favorite of mine. In the capture, we see a man rushing towards a kangaroo. At first glance, it looks like the kangaroo is only having fun with the dog. But if you know anything about kangaroos, you know that it's got the dog in a headlock and the dog's life is in danger. The handler of the dog knew this and runs toward the kangaroo. The kangaroo doesn't look like it's ready to let things go so easily until the man punches it. Yes, he punched it, but not only so it would let the dog go, the creature was stunned and actually let the dog go. The owner of the dog uses that as an opportunity to escape, and I must say I applaud him for that. That way, unnecessary interactions are avoided, which keeps both parties safe without needing to put anything down. Next, we have footage that shows something rather out of this world. Have a look. You saw the footage, didn't you? The footage starts off looking like an ordinary evening in the woods when a fast-moving worm-like object comes from the right toward the left. It looks like a beady necklace of some sort, but it's flying. Are you familiar with things like these? Well, we are. They are called rods. In paranormal discussions, rods typically refer to elongated, fast-moving objects that are sometimes captured in photographs or videos, particularly in the presence of insects or flying creatures. The one in this footage doesn't seem to be accompanied by insects, but that doesn't take away their authenticity. It was sent in by a subscriber of this page who says they've always been where he is, and he has more. Frankly speaking, we believe him, but what do you think? Do you have any experiences with these? Tell us in the comments section. In the serene wilderness of Lolo, Montana, a curious couple embarked on a snowshoeing adventure, a journey that would lead them into the heart of a perplexing mystery. As they traversed the snowy landscape, their eyes fell upon a peculiar set of tracks nestled just beyond the bounds of a small frozen lake. What made these prints truly remarkable was their unconventional nature. They possessed not the customary 5 toes, but a mere trio of toes. A further twist of intrigue awaited them as they stumbled upon a 5-foot-long stick lying nearby, seemingly connected to the enigma of the free-toed tracks. They tried following the tracks, but it led them into the woods, and since it was getting late, they aborted the mission. But you have to wonder, what creature could have left behind those perplexing tracks with only 3 toes, and was the presence of the stick mere happenstance or intricately linked to this mysterious enigma? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Imagine being in the comfort of your own home when something inexplicable occurs. That's precisely what happened to the individual who captured this bizarre incident on camera. In the footage, we see a peculiar orb, a mysterious glowing sphere floating around. It seems to move with a sense of purpose, almost as if it's dancing, all while an oblivious cat strolls by. But this isn't an isolated event. Similar orbs have been spotted in various locations worldwide. The big question is, what are these orbs? What could their presence signify? My money is on demonic or spiritual activity. But what's yours? Believe me when I say I've seen things, but never have I seen nor thought of seeing what I'm about to show you. And yes, that's a weird-looking creature on top of a wild boar. It actually seems to be riding it. Look at the image. You can't help but wonder what creature you're looking at. It appears to be a humanoid of sorts with some weird foot. It looks in the trail camera and poses as though it knows that it's being watched and actually wants to be seen. Nobody on my team could tell what kind of creature it was, even after running it through our in-house glossary of paranormal creatures. It was at this moment that one of our team members started scrutinizing the picture. He believes that the boar is actually not being ridden and might actually be grazing. He thinks the uploader of the image simply edited an image of a boar grazing and posted it online to make it look like a paranormal creature was, well, riding it. Personally, I think that might be the case too, but the team's divided on it. What do you think, though? Next, we have one of those that have you questioning what you're seeing. This was uploaded by someone who was very convinced that there was a demonic spawn on his property. He'd heard strange sounds at night, investigated, and seen nothing. He often heard strange noises at midnight and saw 2 glowing eyes appear and reappear in the distance. He set up a trail cam, hoping he could capture whatever creature it was. The aftermath is what you see. There's a black creature right in front of the metallic object in the background. The uploader is convinced that's the demonic spawn, but it looks like one of those small species of dogs to me. But what do you think? The Trailcam video you see on your screen captures an eerie and mysterious sight in the middle of the woods. In the early hours of the morning, around 3 a.m., a strange mist or smoke-like substance suddenly appears, seemingly emanating from above and right in front of the camera lens. The timing and appearance of this mist create an uncanny and otherworldly atmosphere. It's not uncommon for trail cams to capture unusual phenomena in the wilderness, often sparking speculation and curiosity. Some might interpret this as the breath or presence of a large creature. I mean, look at it. It looks like the steam that comes out of an individual while breathing in a cold and icy region. Only this time, if it's indeed someone exhaling steam, then you and I can tell that someone would have to be very large. Given the fact that this large being or thing is sitting directly above the camera and looking toward the direction of the grazing deer, we can conclude that whatever it is, it's a predator that's interested in consuming the creature. Some have mentioned Bigfoot, others a werewolf, and some others a dogman. What about you? What do you think could be creating that steam from breathing in and out? Tell us in the comment section. What could this be? If I didn't know any better, I'd even suspect it to be the sting of some giant scorpion or the curled-up tail of a very large animal. There's no other way to come up with a perfect description if we can't see the full thing. After watching the initial seconds, we began to speculate about the creature we were about to encounter. Our speculation, however, is short-lived as we're soon introduced to the creature in all its glory. There are many interpretations we could give to this, but the YouTuber responsible for the footage, who is from the channel Unknowns, believes this is footage of something unique, wild, and previously undiscovered, and he just so happens to conveniently capture this while on a solo camping trip in the mountains. As much as we'd love to take his word for it, there are a couple of possibilities here. It could be a person in a costume, perhaps staged for attention and views. Alternatively, someone with more sinister intentions could be stalking the camper and waiting for the right moment to unsettle him. We see no paranormal being here, but we still believe someone dangerous could potentially be stalking him. What do you think? Does it look more like some sort of a hoax or prank meant to throw us off, or do you believe the young man really encountered something dangerous and scary? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd really love to hear them. What would you do when you wake up to a wild animal, specifically a horse, watching you sleep? Well, wonder no more. Instead, watch this footage. Yes, and yes again. That's a horse watching a woman sleep. And no, it's no peeping Tom situation. The horse probably saw the strange tent in the woods and hadn't seen it before. It might have gone to investigate, which led to what you're seeing on the screen. The camping woman was shocked and surprised, and I don't blame her. I would be too if I woke up to a horse staring me down. The uploader initially believed it was a skinwalker or a demon tailing her because it stared for so long. We love a paranormal story as much as the next guy, but that's definitely not a skinwalker, demon, or shapeshifter. What do you think? Next, we have a couple of captures from Manchester, Connecticut that has us scratching our heads. Have a look. I wish I could tell you what we are looking at, but the truth is, I don't know. Sure, you're looking at the skeletal remains of some wild animal, but the thing is, we don't know what it is. The original poster, however, said he contacted Deep, and they told him it was a raccoon. However, we can't confirm its accuracy as this isn't an area we have much expertise. Can any of you confirm this? We'd really love to know. Next, we have this peculiar-looking creature that was sighted near a village pilfering food. It appears to have a skin disease and a lengthy tail with some degree of hair. In a world where mysterious creatures seem to be making a comeback, our minds naturally start to wonder. Could this be one of those unexplainable enigmas that have slipped through the cracks of conventional understanding? As each Trailcam and village sighting reveals new surprises, it's difficult not to consider that this creature could be more than it seems. But if there's more to it, what could that more possibly entail? Is it a mutated creature? A sick one? A paranormal being? Alien? But hold on, did I just mention aliens? Maybe I'm getting carried away, but you catch my drift. What do you think we're dealing with here? Tell us in the comments section, as we'd love to hear it. In the heart of the woods, firmly attached to a tree during a mission, two men are about to find themselves face to face with a black bear. Reviewing the footage captured by one of the tree climbers, we observed two black bears scampering up a tall tree as if fleeing for their lives. Meanwhile, two explorers are securely fastened to the tree, calmly watching the spectacle unfold. One bear ventures remarkably close to the man, while the other secures a presumably safe position. The curiosity of the first bear is evident as it tries to comprehend how these humans are perched in the tree without adopting a similar awkward stance. The man closest to the camera appears unperturbed by the black bear's presence, even sharing a momentary giggle as the bear reaches their level. However, the second explorer displays discomfort and seems poised to leap should the bear make a move. Before long, the black bear begins its descent, prompting audible sighs of relief from the two men. I guess not all bears are rowdy. Some like to keep a clean slate and make a good first impression. Or basically, it's a cub and was only curious. In such situations, the danger will be the mom, and it appears these hunters knew. Kudos to them for keeping their cool. How would you have handled being put in such a position in your life? Next, we visit Virginia, where a park ranger has some rather interesting footage for us. Have a look. Yes, it's another cervid, but I can tell you this is a deer. There's, however, something off about the deer. It appears frozen, and initially I thought it was a sculpture or a wax statue or something. That was at least until it got poked with a stick and reacted. The park ranger who recorded the footage was left dumbfounded, and, well, I was too. In fact, I still am currently. We did some research, and turns out the creature is actually suffering from the zombie deer disease, or more technically, the chronic wasting disease, or CWD for short, which affects cervids. The disease causes disorientation, lack of coordination, repetitive walking patterns, drooling, and a vacant stare like we're seeing with this deer. It's an unfortunate thing, and although there's no scientific evidence that it can be transmitted to humans, I'd advise you to stay away from any cervids having these symptoms and inform local authorities. Stay safe out there. Speaking of creatures taking an interest in trail cameras, have a look at this footage. The footage starts with a caravan or camper in view, but that's quickly interrupted by a canine or dog. On second thought, it's actually a wolf. It starts by licking the trail camera, and the actions immediately get aggressive, and within a few seconds it becomes apparent that the creature is very interested in tearing the camera apart. It even picks up the camera and walks away from the scene. After a few seconds, however, it realizes that it's not something that it can easily destroy, nor is it something that will give it nourishment. It then gives up and walks away, or perhaps it notices movement in the camper a few meters away from it. Whatever the case, we won't know what made it walk away for sure, but this gives us an idea of how an animal will behave with a trail camera, which only convinces me the more that the first footage from today's episode could indeed be a Bigfoot. But what do you think? What would your reaction be if you spotted Tinkerbell gracefully flying in your backyard? Well, the following footage was captured by a homeowner's security camera in their backyard. An insect initially appeared fluttering across the camera's field of view, but as the recording continued, it became evident that this was no ordinary insect. The peculiar creature exhibited human-like features, a distinct head, 2 arms, and a pair of legs reminiscent of a fairy minus the iconic pixie dust. The creature circled the camera lens almost as if it intentionally sought to be noticed before gracefully taking flight and disappearing into the surroundings. But wait a second, before we start believing that our backyard has become the secret gateway to enchanted worlds, let's hit the brakes on our imagination for a moment. As mesmerizing as it sounds, the magic might not be as real as we hope. Turns out that insect with human-like features was a masterful creation like a CGI wizardry trick that had us all reaching for our fairy-sized wands. At least that's what the logical guys said to us, the paranormal-believing sects. What do you think about this one? Could we be dealing with a real-life fairy, or are the logical guys right? This is all just CGI. Of course, we couldn't leave out a segment on Bigfoot, but this time, instead of presenting Bigfoot itself, we're bringing you evidence of its existence. Ready? Just watch. In the footage, individuals are seen stepping into unusually large tracks resembling a massive foot. And here's the twist. This wasn't just a photo-taking spree. These pictures were actually taken by individuals and submitted to the park ranger's office, believe it or not. These images originate from Canyonlands National Park, and if you're familiar with that area, you know it's not a place known for housing giants. Many individuals, including those who sent in the pictures, believe we are dealing with a Bigfoot. Can you really blame them? After all, how many creatures can you name that are large enough to have feet of that size and weight, leaving such deep imprints in the soil? None, I presume. So if it's not a Bigfoot, what do you think could have made those tracks? This next footage is said to have been taken as far back as 1987 near a volcano. The clip was allegedly taken because of the strange creature you see in it. But what exactly is that creature? It looks like some sort of huge spider-like monster. Its lower body was made of many legs that looked like roots, but its upper body looked eerily human. You could see its head and shoulders. However, this creature moved in such an automated way it looked so out of place and unreal. Most of the members of the paranormal groups where it was shared called it fake. You've seen it for yourself. What do you think? Take a moment to examine this intriguing footage.
Oh, whoa. What is that?
It's like that Tic Tac from Rogan, bro.
What was that?
The thing that, like the UFO thing, like flying all over the place.
I mean, this looks like a UFO.
What we have here is a video of a strange craft that was captured in the night sky. This craft is quite unusual as it has 3 lights arranged in a triangular shape. It was seen simply floating in the air without any apparent propulsion or movement. But how did this craft get there? It all started with a glowing orb. The orb descended from the sky and remained stationary in the same spot. Then 2 more orbs appeared beneath it. This, my friends, is how the craft was formed. Could this be a UFO? It's certainly possible. The shape and behavior of the craft are unlike anything we've seen before. But then again, what do you think?
Oh, whoa. What is that?
It's like that Tic Tac from Rogan, bro.
What was that?
The thing that, like the UFO thing, like flying all over the place.
I mean, this looks like a UFO.
No, but it's like yeah, I guess.
Imagine walking into the woods and seeing this staring at you. What would be the first thing to run through your mind? This Trailcam capture is eerily reminiscent of the previous image taken in the park. Once again, we're confronted with a bizarre creature, but this time its appearance is even more unsettling. This enigmatic being possesses a peculiar skeletal face, and its entire body is shrouded in a thick layer of hair. The creature appears to be standing amid a tangle of bushes, its unblinking gaze fixed directly upon the camera. What can we make of this mysterious entity? What strange force or presence could lead to such an eerie encounter? These questions linger, shrouding this image in an unsettling aura of the unknown. This footage reveals an unknown vicinity which is adorned with lush green groves of trees as the night sky heads towards nighttime. In the far left corner, there's a retreating figure that appears to have humanoid shape, possibly a predator. Without more specific information or visual details, it's challenging to identify the exact species of the retreating figure. It's essential to remember that nature is full of these predator-prey dynamics, and they're part of the natural balance in ecosystems as a deer comes into view, but doesn't seem to be vigilant to evade potential threats. With the actions of the dark figure, could it have been targeting the deer and on its way to capture it? What are your thoughts? As technology advances, scientists and tech experts are constantly pushing the limits of what is possible. They're always searching for new ways to innovate and create positive change. Recently, a group of scientists in Denmark came up with an exciting new idea, making glow-in-the-dark trees, also known as bioluminescent trees. The idea behind these trees is to replace traditional street lights with them. This would not only reduce the cost of maintaining faulty lights, but also help lower greenhouse gas emissions from the use of fossil fuels to power lights in the evenings. Bioluminescent trees could potentially make the world a more beautiful and magical place, transforming the nighttime landscape into a glowing wonderland. However, not everyone is pleased with this idea. Some are concerned that the genetic modification of these trees could have negative effects on the environment and human life. After all, we rely on plants for oxygen, and any changes made to their genetic structure could have unforeseen consequences. While bioluminescent trees could be a significant step forward in terms of sustainability and beauty, it's important to consider the potential risks and weigh them against the potential benefits. What do you think? Could this be a groundbreaking innovation or a potential threat to human life and the environment? This is certainly an intriguing sight to behold. This appears to be a blob-like structure with distinct human-like features such as eyes, nose, and mouth. Once it was uploaded, it started attracting a lot of attention. What's even more fascinating is that one of the eyes seems to be moving, making it look alive. Some believe that this could be a human-made creation, possibly an experiment using cutting-edge technology. Others speculate that it might be a natural and undiscovered creature. Additionally, there's a chance it could be digitally manipulated using today's advanced CGI technology. However, without more information, it's impossible to say for sure what this curious phenomenon could be. Before I ask for your thoughts, take a look at this comment underneath the original post. Now, tell me, what are your thoughts on this? This footage was captured near Nevada's Nellis Air Force Base in the morning sky when the recorder spotted a white flying object. Upon closer examination, it's clear that this isn't an airplane. It lacks typical aircraft features and has a distinct tic-tac or pill-like shape. It's gliding through the atmosphere at an incredibly fast pace, dominating the daytime sky. This can only be one thing, another UFO sighting. Experts were consulted, and they unanimously concluded that it was not an airplane. They described it as chunky, ruling out any conventional aircraft. When comparing this footage to the recorder's other airplane videos, the distinct shape of this object, along with the absence of typical aircraft features, highlights the stark difference. Is this a UFO? Tell us what you think. In a world filled with inexplicable mysteries, this image stands out as one of the most perplexing. Captured in a park, it presents a grotesque sight that defies easy categorization. One might be tempted to liken it to a mummified human head, but the presence of hair covering its entire body suggests otherwise. It's hard to say. When I saw the footage, I initially thought it might be a woman with burn marks sitting on a tree, screaming in pain. I mean, it would be strange to capture something like this in the woods, but trail cams capture weird things all the time. I was about to dismiss this whole thing when I saw that it had talons for feet. Can you see it too? All of a sudden, it becomes apparent that the image is not so ordinary. There's some supernatural element to it. Could we be dealing with a witch? Was she injured in transit, or is the whole thing simply a well-curated hoax? Share your thoughts with us.
Shit, they got every year, make and model on this bitch. Motherfucker done burnt out.
This footage was captured in San Francisco, where there had been a noticeable increase in thefts in the Bay Area recently. To ensure the safety of their possessions, people have been taking various measures to secure them, and this car owner has taken a rather innovative and extreme approach. The owner of this car has gone to great lengths to protect their vehicle by welding several security cameras onto it. The cameras are strategically placed all around the car to ensure complete coverage and to provide the owner with a 360-degree view of the surroundings. It's a whimsical approach, to be sure, but you can't deny the ingenuity behind it. With those cameras mounted all around, it's safe to say that anyone thinking of getting too close to this car will think twice, unless, of course, they had their whole body covered and they ripped the cameras off for some extra profit. It sounds funny, but I can see that happening.
Shit, they got every year, make and model on this bitch. Motherfucker done burnt out. Shit, they got that remote on there.
In this next footage, someone shared security footage online. In the footage, there is a ghostly figure walking through a room and then disappearing in a thin air. It's a very eerie sight to behold. Just imagine seeing something like this on your own camera. A commenter on the video suggested that this might be a cloaking device, which is quite an unusual explanation. Typically, most people would assume that the figure in the footage is a ghost or some other paranormal entity. But a cloaking device? Oh, that's something. Given our recent advancements in technology, that's not too wild a thought, but what do you think? A potential ghost or a test run for a cloaking device? Share your thoughts. Now, this next footage isn't exactly a Trailcam capture. It's captured by a security cam in a Riverhill residence, and trust me, it's just as thrilling. In fact, have a look. Did you see it? On the left side of the clip, right as the clip kicks off, a brilliant blue streaks upward into the sky and swiftly vanishes towards the left. I don't know about you, but that looks like a spaceship going into hyperdrive. I was nearly convinced it was a hoax until I came across comments from others who claimed to have seen similar around the same time this was recorded. One user on the platform where this was shared said, "I drove my husband to work on Saturday at 4 a.m. and saw some lights like a train. At least that's how my husband referred to it. It was long and in a line and it was moving in slow motion, falling and then suddenly disappearing. So I'm thinking it was activity from that Friday night." Could we really be having an alien situation on our hands? Tell us what you think in the comments section. Speaking of funny pictures, ever heard of bearded pigs? No? Well, get ready for a laugh. Yes, those are pigs with a beard, and no, it's not a costume. Bearded pigs, scientifically known as Sus barbatus, are a unique and interesting species of pig found in the southeast of Asia. Despite the name, they don't sport beards like humans do. Instead, they have long, wiry hair along their jaws, giving them a unique appearance. Have you come across these species of pig before? What do you think of them? Will you be traveling to Asia to see them? Tell us in the comments section. While walking on the field, a farmer was taken aback by a strange sight and started recording. Some of the haystacks on the field suddenly flew off the ground and fell back down at random intervals. The farmer, puzzled by this bizarre behavior, tried to find a logical explanation for it. At first he thought it might be the wind, but when you look closely at the footage, you'll notice that there is no sign of wind blowing at all. Also, the bundles of hay that were flying off the ground were not necessarily the ones that were closest to each other, which made the situation even more peculiar. Some people speculated that it could be due to demon possession or ghost activity because there seems to be no logical explanation for the phenomenon. What do you think, though? Could this be an actual real-life capture of ghost activity, or could this man and his group of friends be playing a fast one on us? Please share your thoughts. One of our subscribers recently shared an intriguing image with us. The picture shows a mysterious creature that was spotted on the shores of a water body. Take a look. The creature in question has a rather peculiar head with 2 eyes, a slightly open mouth, and tiny razor-sharp teeth. Its physical characteristics differ significantly from those of regular fish, as it has 2 arms extended with 4 claws. The creature's appearance has puzzled many, leading to various speculations. Some people suggest that this creature could be a Nephilim, an angelic being mentioned in ancient texts. Others believe that it could be a baby mermaid, a mythical creature that has been the subject of folklore for centuries. And then there's the possibility of extraterrestrial origins, with some speculating that it could be an alien life form exploring our earthly waters. While this idea may seem far-fetched to some, the vastness of the universe and the mysteries it holds leaves room for such speculation and imagination. That big question now is, which of these is the most accurate? I guess we'll never know, unless of course it comes out that this was all an elaborate hoax to mislead the masses. A lady got in touch about some weird creatures from her garage. She stated they were birds, but she felt they might be mutated or something. Naturally, we're excited to see them. Confused at first, we were convinced they must be mutated creatures or perhaps even alien birds, given their oddly human-like size. Excited to publish the scoop, we delved into research, and what we discovered is truly surprising. These things are actually normal. Yes, my friends, they are normal. This is what baby barn owls actually look like. They're only weird because they haven't gotten their feathers yet. Who knew? The confusion about them being human-sized stems from the perspective of the capture. Thank God I found out. I'm pretty sure you would have roasted me alive for calling it alien. Thank God. Sorry to disappoint those policing my animal names et al. I had it right this time. And to those who learned something new, you're welcome. Now let's dive into an intriguing recording captured by a lady in a park. She was there to enjoy the scenery and unwind. Her relaxation was interrupted by an unsettling presence she couldn't identify. This led her to start recording, and the result is what you're about to witness on your screen. The footage shows a head emerging, its gaze fixed on her, only to swiftly retreat back into hiding. The figure, whatever it may be, appeared to engage in a game of peekaboo with a woman documenting the scene. The stalker possessed a pallid head devoid of any discernible hair, while a shadowy neck, possibly a dark scarf, enveloped the area. Deciphering the identity of this mysterious entity proves to be a challenge. Some suspect it might be a rake, whereas others think it's a skinwalker. Looking at it, I'm tempted to think it's a rake too, but I feel skepticism rise in my soul. I feel it's all fake and most probably a setup, but maybe that's just me. What do you think? An individual has recently captured a very peculiar and intriguing creature that bears a resemblance to a plant, though its classification is uncertain. The creature appears to have taken on the shape of a star, with multiple tentacles extending from its central body. These tentacles are unlike any seen before, as they've root-like structures attached to them. At one center of the creature, there's a small hole that appears to be used for the creature's feeding or breathing. We're not so sure. The creature takes turns sticking the root-like tentacles into this hole. What could this be? Is it feeding or what? Well, no one we know has the answers, and our paranormal communities are speechless, which doesn't happen very often. My hypothesis is that it's an unknown and undiscovered species or a CGI creation meant to give the uploaders their 5 minutes of fame. But what do you think? Alligators are dangerous creatures, yet some people don't seem cautious around them. Recently, a clip went viral showing a woman swimming underwater with an alligator floating right above her. Naturally, and fortunately, the alligator had its eyes above the water. What's truly astonishing is the woman's seemingly fearless demeanor as she swims right beneath the alligator, unfazed by its presence. And the reptile? Well, it appears rather indifferent, making no move to harm her, even as she boldly touches its belly. Now, one commenter suggests the alligators may not be as dangerous underwater as they are on land, but I'd err on the side of caution. Swimming alongside a flesh-eating predator like that, oh no thank you, count me out. What about you? Would you dare to take the plunge into those murky waters with a potentially deadly neighbor lurking nearby? In the dead of night, a lone motorcyclist embarked on a journey through the darkness, a GoPro camera affixed to his head, documenting his every move. Suddenly, the stillness of the night was shattered by the haunting sound of weeping echoing through the air. As he drew closer to the source of the mournful cries, he witnessed a chilling and otherworldly sight, a spectral figure akin to a woman materializing on his right. In a moment of curiosity mixed with fear, he turned his camera toward the eerie apparition, capturing it as it dissipated into nothingness. Did you capture that spine-tingling moment? A humanoid figure draped in a long robe vanishes before our very eyes. What could this special entity be? Was it a restless spirit beckoning him towards an unknown destiny, or perhaps something even more mysterious and unfathomable? Presley Belcher, a TikToker with 7,755 followers, is known for creating random TikTok videos, and this particular video is no exception. We see her singing or lip-syncing to a song that isn't audible to the ears while recording herself with a little black spray bottle in her hand as a mic. She momentarily closes her eyes, attempting to convey the emotional impact of the song. All this time, the closed white door behind her can be seen shaking until it opens from the inside. And just like that, it was reflected in the video, catching Presley's attention. She appears genuinely frightened, with fear evident in her eyes. She turns to confirm that she isn't dreaming, gasps, and covers her mouth upon realizing it is indeed reality. And with that, she gets up to end the recording. This was indeed a bone-chilling moment. What would you have done if you were in her place? Did you notice anything we didn't? Please do share in the comments section. Believe me when I say the next one is as disturbing as it is strange. That's definitely a strange-looking creature lying down on the table. It has this grotesque-looking face and body features that don't match any known creature on the planet. The question on everyone's mind is, what is this? Naturally, the comments section of the original post was buzzing with opinions and theories. One comment that caught our attention among the thousands under the post was this: if mermaids exist, this is a more accurate description of what they would probably look like. It's an intriguing thought, isn't it? Perhaps this creature isn't an alien after all, but rather a fantastic creature of the sea, lurking in the depths beyond our understanding. Either that or we've got another hoax on our hands. Back on October the 15th, 1996, this alien body was allegedly retrieved and thoroughly examined. The footage is not very clear, so it's hard to see, but you can tell that the creature lying down is not human. It has a small, oddly shaped head and a small mouth. The eyes are closed, but one appears to be slightly open. Now, people made mention this was a legit alien sighting from one Dr. Jonathan Reed. So I did a little digging and found this. This footage was indeed from Dr. Jonathan Reed, who said the alien attacked his dog and shot his dog with a vaporizer. Reed said he took a tree branch and knocked the creature out, resulting in this footage we see. Initially, the media seized upon the story, but over time skepticism grew, and Reed's claims were ultimately debunked and dismissed as a hoax. Knowing what we know now and the possibility of extraterrestrial life out there, do you think it's a hoax or that it's real? In the remote wilderness of Alaska, a camper stumbled upon a sighting that has fueled speculation about the presence of the legendary cryptid, the elusive Bigfoot. The footage, taken from a hidden camera nestled among the leaves, offers a glimpse of a creature traversing the woods. At first glance, it's understandable why the camper believes this to be a Bigfoot encounter. The figure in question stands tall, displaying distinctly ape-like characteristics, and remarkably, it appears to be walking on two legs. This aligns with the classic descriptions associated with Bigfoot sightings. Is this another Bigfoot sighting, or are we simply seeing what we want to see and reading meanings into things that don't have such meanings? If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do that before we go on? Thank you very much. It means a lot. Moving back to today's episode, now let's unravel a peculiar sighting that occurred in the vast Canadian mountains. Picture this. A lone hiker surrounded by the breathtaking wilderness stumbles upon an inexplicable scenario. As the hiker's gaze goes down the mountain, a peculiar sight unfolds before them. It's a creature, or at least something that appears to be one. What makes this sighting truly baffling is how it moves. The rock seems to be lifted from beneath as though some unseen force resides beneath the surface. What could be causing this eerie phenomenon? But hold on. The strangeness doesn't stop there. As this mysterious movement inches closer to a backpack resting on the ground, our expectations are defied. Instead of the backpack itself shifting, a sudden gust of wind whips through, making the backpack straps flutter through the air. The movement then passes by the backpack and moves out of sight. What could this be? Some kind of new natural phenomenon or something else we should be concerned about? Have you experienced something like this? Please tell us in the comment section. With the advancement of technology, body modification techniques are also becoming more sophisticated. For those who have ever considered changing their eye color, it's now possible thanks to FLAC Pro technique. Beatrice from Brazil underwent this procedure to change her eye color from a darker shade to a water green, and her results were remarkable. The FLAC Pro procedure involves pigmentation of the cornea, which is a clear front surface of the eye. Skilled ophthalmologists perform the procedure by injecting a specialized pigment into the cornea stroma, the middle layer of the cornea. This pigment interacts with the existing iris color, resulting in a new hue. The procedure is performed with great care and precision, ensuring that the patient's eye health is not compromised. Beatrice underwent the procedure in Rome, Italy, where it was successfully performed. The change in eye color has been a popular trend in recent years, and as technology continues to advance, this trend is likely to continue. Would you try this? Over the years, there have been numerous reports of unidentified flying objects and sightings of extraterrestrial life, which have warranted intense scrutiny. However, this alleged UFO sighting shared online by renowned Mexican journalist and ufologist Jaime Maussan has captured people's attention worldwide. The clip shows a bright light ascending into the night sky and then disappearing into the clouds. However, even after it disappears into the clouds, you can still see lights shining above them, which has left many people wondering what it could be. Jaime Maussan is well known for his work in the field of ufology, having investigated and reported on several UFO sightings and alien encounters. This sighting has only added to the intrigue and mystery surrounding the topic. While some folks hang on to Maussan's every word, others are quick to dismiss him as a fake, questioning the authenticity of his content. Well, as with many things in the realm of UFOs and aliens, it's a mixed bag of belief and skepticism. Without more concrete evidence, it's tough to say for sure what's really going on up there in the skies. What do you make of this? Real or fake? Amidst the haunting remnants of the Chernobyl disaster area within the decaying walls of an abandoned structure emerges a truly unexpected sight. A word of caution, what you are about to witness is not for the faint-hearted. Within the confines of an abandoned shelter, amidst relics of a forgotten era, emerges an enormous pink entity emanating an eerie, vicious aura. As I witnessed this otherworldly spectacle unfolding, a whirlwind of possibilities surged through my mind, catalyzed by memories of strange wolf-like figures I've encountered before. But let's return to the current tale. What in the irradiated realm could this aberration be? A vision of pink hues intertwined with elongated appendages boasting an astonishing magnitude. Could it be a denizen of the irradiated depths? Is it a colossal squid, or maybe a mutation-twisted, sense-deprived octopus? I might be jumping ahead. Remember, this is Chernobyl, and none of these creatures are indigenous to the region. Could it be a mutated earthworm, perhaps? All this speculation has left me quite dizzy. What do you think it is? I'd like to hear your thoughts, because frankly, I can't make out anything, unless, of course, the footage is fake. Now prepare for today's dose of cuteness overload, and it's no exaggeration when I say that. I mean, just take a look. Yes, that's an actual puppy getting on the back of a goose and then hugging it. While this is what you might call the unlikeliest of companionships and hugs, it doesn't change the fact that it's an adorable and lovely one. Have you come across any pups or animals having unusual friendships and unions? Please share in the comments section because we'd love to see it. Have you watched the movie Life? If so, you might recall the scene where they captured a gooey creature in space that later turned into a human-eating monster. Recently, footage has been circulating that is eerily similar. In the video, there's a plate on a table with a strange, thick, black, gooey substance. A hand holds a metal ring, and the liquid follows wherever the ring goes. It's unclear where this footage was taken or who recorded it, but this is something worth investigating. But wait, it gets even more intriguing. The hand tries to separate the goo with a credit card, but it effortlessly merges back together, as if it has a mind of its own. Now, some people have drawn comparisons to the infamous symbiotic alien known as Venom, and you can see why. The resemblance is uncanny. Others speculate that it could be graphene, a material known for its unique properties. One intriguing suggestion comes from a commenter who proposed that it might be a ferromagnetic fluid reacting to a magnet hidden beneath the table. This theory holds water, as ferromagnetic fluids are indeed capable of exhibiting fascinating behaviors when exposed to magnetic fields, such as following the movement of a magnet or rejoining when separated. As for us, we're no experts and can only speculate based on available evidence. Nonetheless, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think's going on here? A woman came across this dead creature in a jar covered in a slimy substance. It appears to be an alien-like miniature being in a fetal position. The creature was so tiny and fit in the palm of the woman who found it. The creature was gray, with huge eyes and an oddly shaped head, features that have long been associated with extraterrestrial beings. Why would someone go through the trouble of capturing such a creature and preserving it in a jar? Is it a genuine extraterrestrial being, or perhaps a cleverly crafted hoax designed to stir up intrigue? Many in the paranormal community believe it's a fake, but what say you? Now, I know I've shown you a lot of alien stuff in today's footage already, but none compares to what I'm about to show you, so brace yourselves. The footage begins with a typical security cam overlooking a pool, but it takes a sudden turn. the woman appears to levitate and either disintegrate or perhaps teleport to another place. Just before the woman disappears, however, you see them look around as though something ominous has happened. We don't see it, but a few seconds later, the woman disappears. Scary, huh? That someone could just disappear like that. But is it real, though? A part of me wants to believe it is, yet the logical part of me wants to find reasons for why it's not. What do you think, though? A final enigma before you go? Tell me what you feel we're dealing with here, because I really want to know. Next, we have funny footage that will make you smile. Just take a look. Yep, those are bears sitting comfortably in a pool. This may not be a trail camera footage, but boy, does it have the thrill. Given how chill the one filming is, I'm sure it's a regular thing there. Looks cute, doesn't it? How would you react if the local bears visited your pool on a daily basis? Tell us in the comments section. Imagine being at home and expecting a lightning strike based on how the weather has been in the last few hours or days, and then seeing something like this. Looks like a spell cast by a witch or warlock, right? Or am I the only one thinking that? Anyway, I did some little reading around and discovered that this couldn't be further from the truth. It turns out that this is called ball lightning. If you're like me, who was confused when I came across it, a ball lightning is a rare and mysterious atmospheric phenomenon typically observed during thunderstorms. It appears as a glowing spherical object, often ranging in size from a few centimeters to several meters in diameter, and can last from a few seconds to a few minutes. The glowing ball may move erratically, hover, or even pass through solid objects, sometimes accompanied by hissing or crackling sounds. Despite being reported for centuries, ball lightning is still not fully understood, and its exact cause remains a topic of scientific debate. Several theories have been proposed to explain ball lightning, including the idea that it could be a type of plasma, a result of chemical reactions in the atmosphere, or related to electromagnetic fields generated by lightning. Another theory suggests that microwaves created by lightning might form a stable, glowing sphere. Due to its unpredictability and the difficulty of studying it directly, ball lightning continues to be an elusive and intriguing subject in atmospheric science. But what if science is wrong and there's actually someone casting spells? You know what? Never mind me. Let's move on to the next clip. A group of friends was hanging out near the woods one night when one of them, named Matthew, went into the trees to take a quick bathroom break. After some time passed, they expected him to return, but instead, something else emerged from the darkness.
Something is going to call the police because if this is not fucking your phone, call the cops on your phone.
There's someone talking right
What the hell is he doing? That's not Matthew. That's not Matthew.
That's not Matthew.
I know.
As they waited, nervously watching at the edge of the woods, a figure slowly appeared. The night was thick with mist, making it hard to see clearly, but the figure didn't move like Matthew. They couldn't tell who or what it was, but it definitely wasn't acting like their friend. The figure stood there, shrouded in darkness, its presence unsettling. Then, without warning, it raised its hands up and didn't move any closer. The friends, still recording with their phones, kept their distance, unsure whether to approach or run. So what or who could that have been? They didn't say and only uploaded the clip. So what do you think? Was it someone playing a prank, or could it have been something far more eerie lurking in the woods that night?
Because if this is not fucking your phone, call the cops on your phone.
There's someone talking right
What the hell is he doing? That's not Matthew. That's not Matthew.
That's not Matthew.
A group of friends embark on an adventure in the scenic mountains of Switzerland. Sounds like the beginning of a great trip. right? Well, it was until they stumbled upon something that defies explanation. What they witnessed was an object hovering by the mountainside, and it wasn't your run-of-the-mill balloon or a drone. This thing had no visible strings or propellers, adding an extra layer of mystery to the situation. As they zoomed in for a closer look, it got even weirder. This object appeared humanoid with discernible features like a head, arms, and legs. The group couldn't shake off the eerie feeling that this thing had been there all day. Was it a flying human, an extraterrestrial visitor, or something else entirely? Intrigued, they returned the next day, cameras in hand, hoping against hope that it had all been a bizarre illusion. But no, the floating enigma was still there, defying the laws of gravity. Now we're left with more questions than answers. What on earth, or perhaps beyond it, could this be? If you live in the area, maybe you can help shed some light on this puzzling sight. Let us know if the mysterious presence in the Swiss mountains still lingers. Do you believe in zombies? If you answered no to this question, it won't be a surprise. But what if I told you the US government has a foolproof plan to handle a zombie apocalypse it teaches to its new army recruits? Not so weird now, is it? In this footage posted by YouTuber Mr. Illusion, we see what appears to be a strange person walking in the woods, notably without a head and carrying a sickle-like instrument. While seeing someone carrying a sickle in the woods might be odd and weird, depending on the woodland area where the person is seen, there's literally no explanation for a headless man moving through the woods. Could this be the proof we have been waiting for concerning the existence of zombies? Many paranormal enthusiasts who saw the footage believe it to be so. There are some who approved it with skepticism, though believing it could be a cleverly orchestrated hoax. Some even pointed out the fact that it looks like a man with his jacket over his head. But the rest of the paranormal community punched holes in this theory, stating that it was indeed a headless man. The good thing about this footage is it's of great quality and we can all see what's happening within it. Instead of telling you what my personal opinion is, I thought I'd ask you instead. What do you think we are dealing with here? Tell us in the comments section. We'd really love to hear it. A man was tidying up his backyard one afternoon, clearing out a pile of old wood that had been sitting there for ages. As he lifted the last few logs, he stumbled upon something unexpected. Nestled in the dirt was this strange-looking creature. It was unlike anything he'd ever seen before. The creature had a rodent-like body, but what stood out the most was its face. It had no visible eyes, just a nose and a mouth with two prominent lower teeth poking out. I know what some of you were waiting to type. Alien. Courtesy of Julius, I know it's not. This peculiar animal is known as a blind mole rat. These fascinating creatures are perfectly adapted to their subterranean lifestyle. Without the need for eyes in such an environment, they navigate their dark underground tunnels using their highly developed sense of smell and touch. Their lack of eyes, combined with their powerful digging teeth, makes them well suited for life beneath the surface, where they spend most of their time. I'm not sure what this particular one was doing in the man's backyard, but it's a sight to behold. Just look at it. Stepping away from the strange conspiracies, we've got a story from a man who shared eerie footage on TikTok that has left viewers both intrigued and unsettled.
Hey. What you stand up there so far? Hey.
According to him, a strange woman tends to regularly appear behind his fence, standing completely still in the middle of the night. Her long hair is the only thing visible, as the rest of her body is hidden by the fence. When it's daytime, the woman is nowhere to be found. This is something he'd noticed, and it was beginning to spook him, and I get it. I would be spooked too. When he uploaded this online, many took an interest in his case and asked for updates. He sent more clips, but the one which stood out was this particular one with the hood. Despite his attempt to get her attention by calling out to her and even tapping aggressively on the fence, she remained unresponsive. Naturally, all who commented were shocked and some trying to figure out what was going on. One person even suggested it might be a scarecrow, but I would expect a scarecrow to be put out during the day and not at night. But who knows? It's easy to dismiss such sightings as pranks or hoaxes, but there's always a lingering doubt. What if it's not?
What you stand up there so far? Hey. Every night this one comes on up right, this one don't want to move.
Check out this intriguing footage shared by TikTok user Merch85. It's not your typical day at the beach, that's for sure. Here's what went down. You've got a group of folks having a blast in the water, just soaking up the sun in the sea. Everything seems perfectly normal until a wave crashes in. That's when things get weird. Before the wave hits, there's this young boy in the scene, but as the wave rolls back out, something unbelievable happens. The boy somehow morphs into a full-grown man. It's like he hit a fast-forward button on his life underwater. Now, we're left scratching our heads. Is it some sort of camera trickery, an optical illusion, or a glitch in the Matrix? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you still haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do it now? Thank you very much. It means a lot to us and allows us to create more content like this. In moments of chaos and emergencies, our attention is naturally drawn to the events at hand, such as accidents and injuries. However, some incidents defy explanation and leave us perplexed. This footage, captured at an accident site, is a perfect example of such a bizarre occurrence. Amidst the chaos of paramedics and bystanders tending to the accident, the camera person's gaze inexplicably fixated on something peculiar in the nearby woods. The scene before us showcases a figure set against a backdrop of trees adorned in autumnal hues of brown and orange. As we zoom in for a closer look, the peculiarities of this entity become apparent. The creature stands in stark contrast to the individuals bustling about at the accident scene. Its pale form, reminiscent of a humanoid, is visible from the waist up, with its lower body concealed by the trees. The striking dissimilarity between this entity and the people attending the accident raises perplexing questions. Is this a vengeful spirit? A specter returning from the beyond? Did the unfortunate accident draw it to the location? Could it be there to harvest souls? Share your theories and interpretations in the comments section below.
Okay, stop. Am I crazy? That is not a sun. Look at it. I can't zoom anymore. But look at this. This is not the sun.
When the sun is setting, we usually see a beautiful display of golden, orange, and yellow hues. But why does the sun look this way? A woman was out driving during sunset and captured an image of the sun that showed these incredible colors. This image is particularly striking because the sun appears red or pinkish, creating a surreal and stunning view. The science behind this phenomenon is quite interesting. As the sun sets, its light has to pass through more of the Earth's atmosphere compared to where it's overhead. The atmosphere acts like a filter, scattering shorter wavelengths of light, blue and violet, and allowing the longer wavelengths, red, orange, and yellow, to dominate. This scattering effect is known as the Rayleigh scattering. Additionally, particles in the atmosphere such as dust, pollution, and water droplets can further scatter and filter the sunlight, enhancing these vibrant colors. This is why the exact hues can vary depending on the weather, air quality, and other environmental factors. So while the sun might look red or pink in this particular image, it's all due to the fascinating interplay of light and the Earth's atmosphere. At least, that's what the science says. What do you guys think?
That is not a sun. Look at it. I can't zoom anymore. But look at this. This is not the sun. I am 41 years old. I have never seen the sun look like this. Am I crazy?
Dude, that thing is big, whatever it is.
A man and his family decided to spend a weekend camping in the woods, eager to enjoy some quality time together. The first day was full of fun and adventure, and as night fell, they began preparing to settle in and sleep. But just as they were about to drift off, they were startled by strange, unsettling sounds echoing through the woods. It was loud, almost like a howl or a deep growl, and it went on for what felt like an eternity. The man, sensing that something wasn't right, quickly gathered his family, urging them to the car as fast as they could. Some who've seen the footage are convinced that what they heard was the call of a wolfman, while others believe it could have been a Bigfoot lurking in the shadows. But what do you think? Could it be one of these cryptids, or was it something else entirely?
Dude, that thing is big, whatever it is.
Say you decided to take keeping fit seriously, and with that you wake up extra early to fulfill that dream. But upon reaching the gym about to start, you hear creaking sounds. Curious about the sounds, you check it out, but you meet a gym machine moving without anyone on it. What would you do? This footage captures a scene in a quiet neighborhood adjacent to a parking lot where a red car is parked. However, the focus of the video is on a black gym machine that is in inexplicable motion, as though a spectral presence is using it for a workout. The machine moves in a manner that suggests a human-like effort to engage in physical exercise. As we all can see, however, there's no one there. Could a ghostly being be responsible for what we are seeing, or is there a more logical explanation for the whole thing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd really love to hear them. Here's another intriguing piece of footage that joins the ranks of potential Bigfoot encounters in the wild. In this instance, a hiker exploring the woods stumbled upon a captivating sight. As the hiker ventured through the forest, their attention was drawn to a mysterious figure in the distance. Nestled among the dense foliage, the figure appears to be enveloped in darkness, obscuring its precise features. With a sense of curiosity, the hiker decided to zoom in on the enigmatic presence. Upon closer examination, it became evident that this entity possessed dark fur and a substantial size. Initial thoughts of it being a bear or perhaps a gorilla crossed the hiker's mind. However, the remarkable height of this creature raised intriguing questions. Could it be, as some speculate, a potential sighting of the legendary Bigfoot? Like many such encounters, this footage fuels the ongoing debate about the existence of cryptids like Bigfoot. What are your thoughts on this compelling footage? Here we have another heartbreaking story of an animal lost to extinction, the kauai, a bird native to Hawaii. This species officially went extinct in 1987, and the last known individual, a male, was seen in 1989. The kauai was once known for its distinctive flute-like song that echoed through the Hawaiian forests. However, as their numbers dwindled due to habitat destruction, invasive species, and other environmental threats, this poor bird found itself utterly alone. In a final, heart-wrenching moment, the last male was recorded singing a mating call, hoping to attract a female that no longer existed. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go with our clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't, well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.